This is King Bo Christ, and you're now tuned in to the I Say That to Say This show. Beautiful people, episode motherfucking 23. And if last time wasn't enough, I got my man James McKenna back in the motherfucking building. James, say hello to the people.
What's up, people?
we were actually talking about the Joe Rogan experience.
Oh,
and it's funny that you brought up Joe Rogan because it came to me like last week. I was like, oh shit, Joe Rogan is the first podcast I ever listened to. And think about it. You fucking 7 years ago, I don't know when his podcast started. 7 years ago this weekend, we were, well, obviously the days are different, but we were in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking. I was like, oh shit. We were riding down to AC after our traditional Soul Survivor, Akon, Young Jeezy.
I love that song.
You were like, yo, you want to listen to this podcast? I didn't know what the fuck a podcast was, and to me, it was the same thing as like a radio show. I never realized until this weekend, like I said, that it was Joe Rogan that really got the ball rolling, or you, I guess. So yeah. Joe Rogan doesn't fucking know I listen, so I got to give you the credit.
He should though.
I think he should. I think I'm gonna let him know on Twitter.
Well, I don't know what it is about. The thing is with Joe Rogan, I mean, I always liked him as a UFC commentator. That's what always got me into him primarily. But his comedy is like, okay, he's funny. I just wasn't like, I never like went out of my way until recently to listen to him. It was just when somebody, I don't remember whom, but somebody brought up the podcast, or I just listened to some of the clips of it. I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. And then he slowly but surely effectively became my Oprah. So, he's like, hey, what's great? Kettlebells. I'm like, I'm going to start doing? Lifting kettlebells. You know what else is great?
Man.
Weed. He's like, you know what I haven't done? Smoked weed in a long time.
Wow, that reminds me to roll one up right now.
But like fucking everything about him was just like, oh yeah, no, this seems great. This seems great. And I just get into it. It's like, oh, I'm going to start making kale shakes. That was him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him, like the fucking kale shakes.
That's crazy.
I got into kale because just different guys at the gym were saying, like, yeah, you need vitamins, eat a bunch of kale. I was like, you're just enough vegetables to make it work or whatever. But yeah, no, he slowly but surely became my Oprah. And it was really funny how, and I'm not the only one.
That's crazy.
Everyone I talked to, oh Lord. Everyone I talked to was like, yeah, delicious. I do all this. I know. That's and I feel like the rhythm from listening to your podcast, the rhythm of his show and yours are similar. I could tell you definitely. Really? Well, yeah, you got it's kind of you don't really plan anything. You don't really plan anything out. You don't
plan shit. You see this notepad? I got 2 notes on it. It says exactly. NFL, Atlantic City in the daytime.
Yeah. Oh God. Let's that's like.
Are we jumping right into that?
Jump right into that. Oh my God. I've never.
You want to see? Listen, I'm not laughing at the people of Atlantic City. Don't think that.
That's
James is because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Alt left James here, but
alt left. That's awesome.
But I forget. We're getting old, man. This is fucked up, but I don't know when it was, like which trip it was, but the first time we stayed the night in Atlantic City and just didn't straight leave in the morning, or we stayed 2 days, I guess, and didn't leave in the morning.
That one, yeah.
We were like, yo, we got to find some food. It's like fucking probably noon the next day. I always came in when the sun came up.
Because they're good at poker.
Somehow, some way.
Not like every fucking time. I know, it's astounding to me how much money you always walk away with. And everyone else either the best I've ever done is broken even.
Trust. Sometimes it surprises me too. Like during my hot streaks, I know what it is.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, fuck, that was a crazy night. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't believe I got away with that shit. But we're going out. We take the elevator down. I don't even think we were staying at the Tropicana until we started getting real jobs. The motherfucking Ascot Hotel, a.k.a. the Ratscot. Because we actually saw a rat. I may not have the video on my phone because the times weren't like that, but I was like, oh shit, that's a rat. Like I was like, this has just happened.
And the best part was how nonchalant the people at the front desk were.
Yeah,
like, dude, there's a rat in the room.
Like,
like,
right,
what are you gonna do about it?
You want to switch rooms? Like, what are you
We'll put up some paper that it's okay. He's
like
okay.
stuff the hole.
I was like, that's it. You're not gonna... I was like, no, you get nothing. That's cool.
But we walk out. We're going down the fucking strip, and I'm like looking around. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in Atlantic City? This is like the worst shit I've ever seen. Like 2 blocks over, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? So it really actually changed my perspective. Like that and Belize, like changed my fucking outlook on life. Like I was just like, oh man, like you grow up in Long Island or wherever the fuck it is you're from, and you think shit is all good. And then you go to see some shit like that. Like we went there to party, play poker, and fuck around. And then some people like don't have 12. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's fucking poor people everywhere and homeless people everywhere, which is unfortunate, obviously. But to see that in a place where we just partied our ass off, I'm playing poker, fucking around, and then Jesus Christ, like, I forget that people live in this little sector of the world.
God, it's terrible. That's why I hate the idea of that they keep trying to make Las Vegas teams. Like Las Vegas sports teams now. I mean, it's only for the tourists. Everything about that city's for the tourists. So what happens is everything is too expensive for these people to live. They have to live in these shoddy, shitty places, and they design these shoddy, shitty places for them to shop and to eat and to hang out. And there's just nothing besides the casino. The casino sucks up all the revenue, so any other kind of good thing in the world is gone right there. You have no real opportunity for income besides working in the casino. Then you got
the Raiders are going to Vegas, right?
Yeah, I think I really don't like that. And in the NHL, because I know how much you like hockey, they're adding.
I tried. Don't say I didn't try.
You tried. It was fair. There's a certain age you have to start getting into after. I think. I don't know, but unless you're a hardcore kid. Hardcore kids get into hockey like in their late 20s. I don't know why. Just whatever reason. You see all these like ex-punk rock dudes with these freaking like XX NYHC tattoos. Just like whatever reason hockey. Probably because hockey's just badass as fuck. But so yeah, the Golden Knights. They're creating a Vegas hockey team for the Golden Knights. Like it's not a hockey town. It's in the desert.
I was gonna say it's the fucking desert.
Put one in Seattle. Like that's they could use one or another Canadian team because all the Canadian teams suck right now. Besides one, I'm not gonna get too much further into it, but it's foolish. But yeah, it's just these people live there, and there's no other real form of income besides that or nightlife. Like strip club or bar or things like that, and that's it.
I'm actually afraid of Vegas.
Oh, what was that?
Because I feel sometimes at the poker table, but see, this is how I win, but I know that too much of anything is not good. Sometimes at that fucking poker table, I feel invincible. Like, I really feel like no one could fucking stop me. And I'm like, and when you have that, I've never actually been a chip leader in Atlantic City, just for the record. Like, I start with like fucking $60 or $100 or whatever I start with, and once I move towards like 500, that's when shit gets real. But that's when I know, like when I start with $100 and I'm playing, and then at some point I get like $650, I really feel like I can't fucking be stopped. So I know if I go to Vegas, that's a whole other ball game. Like,
I'm curious of how much different it is. You know what I mean?
I guess maybe I could be overthinking it, but
I think it's the same. It's just that I always joke that Atlantic City is just Vegas for ugly people.
I think you're onto something there, actually.
Remember the first time we went? That was like we didn't even stay the night. We just like you, me, Tufan, and Hikakian. We went to Papa John's for a fucking slice of pizza, and this dude brings in the most haggard-looking prostitute we've ever seen. He's like, "You guys looking for a good time?" I'm like, with anyone. Like, here's $20 for you to go away. I will pay to not sex with this woman.
Yo, you know what's crazy also? Atlantic City was the first time I saw like prostitutes.
Yeah. I mean,
hands down, like no question.
Maybe I don't know. I went to school in Binghamton, like we talked about before, and Binghamton was. I don't think they're. The thing is, it's harder for them to get away with being streetwalkers there, but
true.
Like. That's why, like, I whenever I go to a depressing city, it always makes me think of, I'm in Binghamton again. So this makes sense. You know, Binghamton, and then I remember when we made a wrong turn in Buffalo. You know, I've never been to Cleveland, but I heard it's terrible.
I want to go to Cleveland.
Just because.
We had that initial plan to go to every baseball stadium.
I think it was football.
Was it football?
Yeah, we don't.
You know that
we don't like baseball.
That's where I was just going with it. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I don't remember. I think baseball was a fucking terrible idea, but I still want to see every, like, not major city, but I want to go to every state.
I don't want to have to go to 30. I don't have to go to 30 baseball stadiums. I don't have to go to 30 baseball games.
Yeah, true.
That sounds terrible.
What a fucking terrible way to spend 4 hours, right?
Exactly. Like, we have 30 more NFLs. Oh, wait, no, I've been to Heinz Field. What have I...
I've been in Lambeau preseason.
That's right, Lambeau. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, no,
That's crazy.
And obviously the Meadowlands.
Yeah, James is responsible for my first NFL game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually hoping, since the Giants are looking to be terrible this year, I might be able to get tickets again. I'm hoping. I'm fingers crossed. But I got to take.
I'm on strike. So I got to take one of your white friends.
I'll take my white sister.
How is your sister?
She's awesome, dude. She's doing well.
Good.
She's living with her boyfriend. They're super happy, and she's normal. My sister was in a.
You good?
Yeah. My sister was in a bad accident, for all you listeners. 12 years ago, she was run over by a truck, and she made a miraculous recovery. Also wrote a book, and it is called "How to Get Run Over by a Truck" by Katie McKenna. Yeah, I'm plugging that.
You gotta plug that. Available on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, right?
Amazon, dude. It was the 18th highest selling book on Amazon last month.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
It's been out for a year. Like, that's kind of nuts.
That's insane. I'm very happy to hear that. That's awesome.
The book's doing well, and she's becoming a really good motivational speaker and doing stuff like that. But yeah, no, she's great. I see her. I got lunch with her the other week. You know, I've been hanging out with my family more, trying to do that, just because my brother and my sister both have been in the city.
Has your brother always been in the city?
Nah, he moved around. He was in LA for a little while.
I thought so. Yeah, that was the last. I remember him being out of state, but I didn't know exactly where it was.
Nah, he's all over. He's all over the place. Oh, he got engaged.
Really?
Yeah, they got engaged.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
No, it's cool. They're happy together. It'll be good. And he told me I'll be the best man. I'm like, sick.
That's awesome.
So
he's gonna give you a speech.
I think I should get a short speech.
That's a big risk.
The real one to Katie.
I think that would be a smart idea. Also.
I'd like. Give me a short one.
No, you'll be all right.
I'm a great linguist. You've never seen me do. I'm a great public speaker.
No, I know, but I just think it's funny. I'm like, all right, I don't know. That's a big risk, man.
Katie's also been the maid of honor like 12 times. So
she seems like that type.
Yeah, no, because she's the best person ever. She's everyone's best friend. I mean, she's either been a bridesmaid or the maid of honor, and pretty much.
She's still doing comedy?
What? No, she doesn't do that anymore.
Okay.
No, she's just the motivational speaker type stuff. That's most of the work she's doing. And there's some other freelance. I don't really get into it. You know, some other freelance work she'll do. But yeah, no, family's great. Callie's all right. She's got a boyfriend. This is awesome. I'm the only one in the family without a significant other. And so Thanksgiving. Yeah, no, it's getting weird. My mom was just like, the first time mom was like, anyone you're getting? You know, I'm like, no, Mom, no one likes me.
Well, so what's up with that, man? Like, you gotta. I'm not saying you have to get a girlfriend. I'm not gonna be that married friend to put that pressure on you. But don't you like? I don't know. Don't you want living pussy? Because like half the catch with being married is being able to come in a woman and just not care, especially if that woman is your wife.
That's true. Today I was actually saying I should get a girlfriend just so someone forces me to keep my apartment clean. Like,
true.
That's pretty much it. Like I the other day I walked into my apartment and I trip over the camping bag that I had, like my packet, and I'm looking at the flies surrounding like the fucking dishes I haven't done that are just on the table, and then everything's all my clothes scattered everywhere, and it smells bad, and because the air freshener just wore out, and I'm like, oh, this is what depression looks like.
See, or maybe you can find a girl with OCD who wants to clean for you.
It's not even like I just forget. I just don't care.
Just saying, like if she's gonna come home and do it, there you go.
More importantly, like I have never had a girl come over to my apartment, no matter how grotesque, and say I'm not sleeping with you.
True. I guess so. Then, like, fuck it.
I pre-warned them, was like, listen, I haven't cleaned in a while. I'm really sorry. And they're like,
By a while, you mean close to ever.
It's just I actually got honest with one reason. It's just funny. She said, like, is that, I was laughing. I was like, that's your Gatorade bottle from when you were here the last time. And I was like 2 weeks before that.
Damn. True.
She's laughing at me. She's like, you're a goof.
Hey, listen, honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, I don't like the, it works a lot easier. Everything flows a lot better that way. But,
so are you looking at, do you have someone in mind? Is something serious working, or what's happening?
Nothing serious working. I'm crushing on a couple, but timing's shitty for one of them. So what I'm sort of seeing is just she lives in Westchester. Like, she's cool. I actually like her, but she lives in Westchester, and she just gets sick a lot, so we can't hang out that often.
Gotcha.
So that's like just
like excuse sick, or she actually gets sick.
No, she's a compromised immune system, but like,
okay, gotcha.
Like, she gets sick, so she's like, not like, oh, I'm sick, just like nauseous from eating or whatever, and it's a whole thing I don't want to really get into.
I think long distance relationships are the best way to start. And I know that sounds fucking ridiculous at first, but it forces you to really communicate. Where we are now, when someone could live, I don't even know my fucking neighbors. You know what I mean? Like, someone could live right next to you, or you meet a girl on the other side of town, and you still won't see each other. But if you're at like a long distance, fucking Westchester, for example, which is reasonable, it forces you to still communicate and still build.
Bro, New York, if you don't live in the same neighborhood, it's long distance. It's hysterical.
Yeah, true.
But the thing is, I have a bicycle, so it's very easy for me to get around, and I'm always, and you know me, I'll go the extra mile to make just relate. Like,
would you ride your bike to Westchester? No.
No, it's way too far.
You're not in love.
No, I'm not in love, asshole. No, I'm obviously not in love. You fucking idiot. God damn it. No, like, I go as far as Tony, or like I've gone to Uptown Manhattan. That's fucking. Those are like 10 miles each, man. Like,
what's the furthest you've gone for some vagina?
Going on my bicycle?
No, just in general.
I don't remember.
I
know. Oh, man.
I'm trying to think.
Furthest.
I mean, see, this is, well, my wife's from Florida,
Suffolk
so I guess that counts, but.
Suffolk County, I guess. Oh, I went from Binghamton to Manhattan.
That's a trip.
Yeah, that was a trip.
That's further than fucking here to Westchester, no?
Yeah.
By a long shot. It might be even like double, no?
Car.
Oh.
And riding my bike from Binghamton.
No shit, I mean, obviously.
It was also like, yeah, I live around there.
When you're young, you're willing to travel to the end of the earth. Like,
yeah, you need to plant your seeds. Love is a chemical reaction that convinces us to breed. You know what I mean? Or not? That wasn't even love. That was just like, I need to come in something.
There you go.
This needs to stop being.
Makes the world go round. But anywho, on to bigger and better things. What's the I'm curious to your opinion with kneeling in the NFL. I've explained my stance on it 1,000 times.
Absolutely, go for it. I think it's a perfect way. I think it's a very reasonable and noble way to protest. Everyone's saying, "Oh, find a new way without disrespecting our country." Like, dude, the song itself, you're not disrespecting the country. You've chosen to draw attention to yourself for a cause that matters. It's like, oh, they're millionaires. Why do they care? I'm like, because it doesn't affect them. That's why they're doing it, because they have the ability to make change for people who it does affect, who don't fucking matter, because they don't throw balls far. Like, that's it. And so they'll do this, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're disrespecting the flags." Like, it's a song about killing. If you listen to other verses of it, it's a song that talks about killing slaves in a battle, and I think a Revolutionary War battle. It's fucking, or it's not. It's a fucking shitty. It's a shitty national anthem. All right, it's not even about the country. The song's about a flag. It's about the fact that a flag didn't get busted up during.
And you are a history major.
Yeah.
For the record.
Yes, and it's fucking ridiculous that people get mad about this. You're just finding dumb things to get mad about because that's what the media is telling you to do. You don't have the wherewithal to figure out your own opinions, so you just figured out the news site that you like that most aligns with the views that you were brought up with, or that you're too lazy to change because you're a piece of shit. And See, this is it. And that's it. And like I'm not discounting liberals as well. There are definitely a lot of things that shit libs, as we call, like shit liberals, will just parrot what they've heard and with this certain smug self-righteousness. Like what has a fucking liberal ever accomplished? All right. Now the people you're shitting on, the socialists, the anarchists, the people who are like, oh, your dreamers, this is too much. You're asking this too much. Blah blah blah. Yeah, those are the people that got us the 8-hour workday. Those are the people who eliminated child labor laws. Those are the people that gave us the weekend. All right, motherfucker. So it's just so I'm shitting on both sides. But when in regards to the national anthem debate, because I kind of got off track, because I'll do that. In regards to that, I think it seems to be almost the right side of the coin that's pissed off about it over something that shouldn't.
But that's what I want to know. Like, what is people's misunderstanding? And I'm not saying white people. I don't mean it like because not. See, just when you want to say that, and normally I'd fuck around for the sake of the joke and be like, oh yeah,
I'm saying it for the sake of the
joke. No, I know, but like even Ray Lewis or Vic, you know what I mean? Like those guys, I'm like, damn, like what the fuck happened to you? You know what I'm saying? So
Michael Vick's getting on his high horse. You drown dogs, you piece of shit.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not just
electrocuted puppies,
right?
You know, man's best friend. Those things that just want to snuggle with you and go outside once in a while. You bet money so they could kill each other, and now you're pissed off because somebody decided to bear their weight upon one knee as opposed to both their feet during a song that doesn't fucking matter, that you never actually listen to the lyrics of.
Right. So, like, where did people get the misunderstanding? Like, I really am puzzled. Like, I don't get what people don't get. Like, is it because, I guess it could go back to what you said with people watching the news. So if you watch the other side of it, you watch Fox News and you see these guys putting their own fucking narrative on it and opening beers with their elbows like you just did.
I love that track.
Like, I guess that's what you take in your information. Like, I don't even understand why this is a debate with people. Like, where did we... And, like, you know, it's disrespecting the fucking veterans. Like, so these are... And I can guarantee, I'm willing to bet almost anything that when the national anthem is played and they're looking for these NFL players, they're looking from their couch sitting down. Like, I can guarantee they do not stand up in their fucking living room and put their hand over their heart and take their hats off and put down their beers. It doesn't happen.
You can't get me to put down my beer for that.
That's what I'm saying. It does, because it doesn't fucking happen. So I'm like, what are we even arguing about? I don't even know if it's the internet that's fucking this up or if it's...
Do you want to know? You want to hear something fun?
Shoot.
I learned this on Saturday. I was on Sunday. Before 2009, the players never went out for the national anthem. They stayed in the locker room. They came out afterwards. The reason why they started was because the military, I can't remember, or just an organization representing the military, gave the NFL a shitload of money.
Really?
To have the players stand outside on the sidelines as a recruitment tool. So basically, the players going out there just to show the patriotism and this and all the American flag, and then a bunch of veterans with the fucking guns is a way to recruit. It's a marketing tactic for the military, so they can get poor young men who don't have better options. Say, oh, this looks like something I could do. Look at my heroes doing this.
Wow.
The more you know, fucking.
That's. I mean, I've heard, you know, obviously there's shit. The NFL and these big organizations are willing to do anything for money. Yeah. But I think the fact that they're creating that, like what you just said before, so 8 years ago, nobody gave a fuck.
They're creating problems where there aren't any, and when you see these things, when you realize how does this affect money? It doesn't. Okay, or how does this affect anything important? It doesn't. Then what you need to do is look for the lesser traffic news stories and do a little more research as to what's happening. Let's take a look at the Russia probe had gotten some more traction. See what legislation they're trying to pass. Like the thing that Trump was like the thing with what that he said. Like the reason why everyone did this was because Trump said anyone who kneels during the NFL, the anthem in the NFL should be fired.
Right.
Which also comes off. I'm gonna burp in the middle of the sentence, but it's way better. Comes off
Listeners are gonna kill me for that, but go ahead.
What's up? They'll kill me. I don't give a shit. I know shame. It comes off as a slave master type of dynamic or dichotomy. Just like, oh yeah, you should be fired unless you do it this way. It's like, dude, they're people.
Right.
Yeah, they're paid athletes, but they're paid to be athletes. They're paid to be athletes and occasionally talk to the media, as Marshawn Lynch had proved to us. When, the most hysterical.
What did he say? I'm just here so I don't get fined. That was some of the illest shit I've ever seen, like in NFL history.
I like Skittles.
Other than straight cash, homie. Randy Moss.
Cash, homie.
That used to be my favorite clip, but Marshawn Lynch definitely took over that. For 5 minutes of straight, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So y'all gonna try again, huh? All right. To this day, I am 100% convinced that Steve Carroll was like, okay, we're on the 1. Marshawn's already gotten 120 yards and a touchdown. If he scores another one, he's going to be an MVP, and they're going to interview him. So, like, okay, so we have to...
Wow. I never even thought about it that way.
That was the first thing I thought.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
I think that's why they did that, and then the fucking goddamn Patriots had to win another Super Bowl, and I had to watch those goddamn massholes parade. Oh, we're the best ever. Shut the fuck up.
Brady's a fucking... I don't know if
he's a Trump supporter.
See, that's what I was going to say. I don't know if he's a Trump supporter now, but he was a Trump supporter when it counted.
He still is a Trump supporter. He's just probably playing good guy so he doesn't,
That's crazy that the GOAT is a piece of shit.
Well, he's a piece of shit. But, I mean, it's even crazier. Bill Belichick is a Democratic socialist.
Really?
Apparently.
That makes sense. He's such a fucking mysterious guy. He's like the Joker.
The reason why I'd say that is because that's why he spreads the ball around so much.
See, there you go. With your, we're joking about politics. We're old, man. That's fucked up.
No, we're not. We're just clever. We're just getting smarter.
True.
It's like dick jokes. Dick jokes can only last so long.
You know what's crazy about that? I was listening to this other podcast.
Dick jokes. Yeah.
See, I don't know. That makes me worried about you in that dress. We got to talk about that.
Get in there.
But fuck it. Let's get right into the dress.
No, I wanted to hear the other podcast. What you were saying?
Oh, the other podcast was like they do the Brilliant Idiots. They have a segment. So every time, just fucking dick talk comes. So they go, dick talk, dick segment. And before they tell their dick jokes, it wasn't like a crazy story. But
all right. So me and the
I just got a text that said James McKenna. I'm outside. That's hilarious. That had to be over half an hour ago.
Yeah, then I knocks on your door and your wife's like, he's around the back.
He's in his cave.
Man cave.
That's one thing I want to say to the youth. You think you won't have a man cave, but it's gonna happen. I had no intentions on having my own little space, but then a chair came down, then my laptop charger came down, and now, I mean, it's a shithole right now.
Yeah, I'm like, this is
it's everything, right? That's what I was gonna say. This is a bunch of shit, but it just starts to be your own space.
It looks like
that's your bag you gave me. So eventually, I'm gonna start working out in this motherfucker.
There you go.
But I like recording the podcast and drinking.
Yeah, no,
it's way more my speed.
Yeah, you need none. All you need is like a dartboard or something.
But anywho, on to the dress. Say yes. Say yes to the dress. For those of you who are like, what? What is he talking about? I'm scrolling on. When was this? Like probably 2 years ago at this point.
It was a year. Well, the first time I did it was a year and change.
I'm scrolling on Facebook, minding my own business. Well, minding everybody's business, but it's my business now because you put it out there. And I'm like, that was weird. That looked like a fucking drag queen. And then I'm like, hold on, my nigga. let me scroll back. Yo, I know him. That's my man's. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, I was really like sitting there and I'm like, so James is on a fucking dress. No, I didn't read any caption. I didn't read anything. And I just stared at it for probably like a half an hour. Like, is this real? Is this really happening? And I'm like, nah, this got to be a fucking prank. And I'm like, nah, I don't think that's Photoshop. And then like something else happened and I'm like, oh shit, there's more. And I think I forget what I texted you. Oh no, I think I commented on the picture like I'm telling your mom or whatever the fuck I said. It was just some dumb shit I said, but. Like, explain the dress, please.
So,
on the record.
So, I work at a bar, and every year during the anniversary, bars always have anniversary parties, right? And so this place, they just really like their staff. So what they'll do is they'll have a staff talent show. Now, most of the people who work there, they're musicians, like they're musicians or artists or whatever. So they'll play a song or sing a song or pretty much they just play songs or somebody does comedy. Somebody did like an act or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I could do like a self defense thing, but I'm like, that's kind of the douchiest thing ever. Just like going on stage and like showing everyone how to fucking like hurt somebody. That's fun. And it's fun, it's cool, but just kind of like look at all the things I can do. This is so, you know, it's just it's masturbatory.
Right.
Thinking, what's the only way to make it not douchey? And I'm like, oh, wear a fucking dress. And like considering I'm a pretty masculine dude. I got a big hulking.
You alright, motherfucker. You don't.
I got a big neck. I'm an ugly one. I think an ugly fucker.
Nah, listen. First of all, that's what made it. That's why I had to scroll back. Like I was scrolling and I was like, wait a minute. Like, oh, that was a dude. Like, I mean, obviously, but I was just like, wait, I know that dude. But anyway, as you were saying,
that wasn't even the first time I went drag. I did drag because my friend bet me I wouldn't once. And then I ended up going home with some girl.
See, that's the beauty of 2017. See, 5 years ago, I would have called you a maggot. But that not maggot. It rhymes with maggot. But you can't say that word anymore because it's like it's not. The world's fucked up, so it's just not.
You know the history behind that.
I feel like I do.
You want me to?
But please enlighten me.
So,
like maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, that was a bundle of sticks.
Yes, and the reason why they are compared to the bundle.
Oh yeah, I do know. But go ahead, tell the story for the listeners' sake.
When they would back in during like the Salem witch trials or anywhere else, when they burn witches at the stake, every time they'd have one of those, they would take any homosexual man, and or any homosexual, and they would throw them on the pit where they light the flames.
It's not funny. I realized that I do know the answer, but go ahead.
I'll use the term. Sorry, everyone.
Oh no, not me. You're gonna get this fucking podcast shut down. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. No, I'm just
basically they use them like kindling, which they're using. They were never good enough to be on the stake. They would be considered kindling, so that's why they're a flaming faggot.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Now, when you think of the history behind that, that's what said. Okay, yeah, let's not lie. It's a fun word, not my word. Not a word I will use. It's not a word that should be used because there's so much hate behind it. It's not. It's a similar level of hate as using the N-word. You know, as a white dude. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's not my word. It's not mine to use.
You have good sense. I feel like all white people don't feel it. I don't know. Like, let me ask this. I feel like all white people, because I know. See, this is where we go left. If I was a white guy, like. I would have to say it just one time, like, but behind closed doors, like I'd be like when you're singing Biggie Smalls, I don't know if I'm just saying I don't want to be any other race than black. Don't get me wrong, but if I was to switch roles, like I'm not bleeping out a Biggie song. Like if I'm buying the car by myself, like do white people do that?
What, say the N-word?
Yeah, I mean like behind closed doors, like obviously
they say I don't really. There are guys who'll say it like. And not like.
Oh, hold on! I seen some tiki torches outside. Those aren't yours, are they?
Motherfucker. For y'all don't know, I'm the whitest. I could march in that parade very well. That's how I know. People are very casual with the racism around me.
That's what I want to know. Yeah, right.
Like I was at my friend's. I was at a. I was at my friend's bachelor party, and one of the guys there was a prison guard. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like him and that sucks because we were talking fights. I'm like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. And he's like prison guard. I'm like, okay, strike one. And then he starts talking about the gangs and just you like really getting into it. I'm like, oh, I can't hang out with you ever. God damn it, you're terrible. Just like explaining like using terms to explain the certain gang members and things along those lines. Like, oh, you suck.
Oh, he was saying.
Yeah. No,
the N-word.
Well, an abridged version of it.
Okay.
You know, and like still, you're using it. It wasn't.
So let me ask you, because this is. I guess we can go into we can get into some real shit right now because when you like as a white dude, when you hear like open racism, you know, there's no people of color around, and you're just in a room like 12 white dudes at a fucking bachelor party, and someone says something racist. Like, is it like weird? Like, oh shit. Or do you just act like...
I walk away. And I'm going to tell you because you said 12 white dudes.
I mean, I just threw that number out there.
Yeah, it depends upon the situation. So everyone wants to have a good time. I enjoy caller culture. I think it's important. I think it's necessary, and it makes people realize that what they're doing is not okay. In certain situations, you kind of have to pick your battles. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta pick, like, here's a great example. Oh,
Shoot.
man, this is fun. I was bar backing one night, and so in Bushwick, that's where I work. It's where I live, it's where I work. Bushwick is a traditionally Hispanic neighborhood. And just hordes of white kids just started moving in because it was cheap, and then all the artists, dude, just same thing happened in Williamsburg. Kind of hoping just we can get like enough crime to scatter them out.
Damn.
That'd be great. My buddy Steve, he actually sits on the stoop every night and just yells at white kids.
That's
Fucking
hilarious.
just, and he's a white dude. He's just like, oh, what are you doing in college? What for? Like, I don't know. I was like, how old are you? 26? Like, 26? No, you need to major in getting a fucking job. Get the fuck out of here.
That's some shit. Man. Who knew?
He harasses
TMZ
people.
got to cover
he
that.
He harasses people to drive the rents down. He does it to drive the rent down.
Does that work?
I hope
Shit,
so.
I'm about to
We
go
don't know.
yell at my neighbors. The rent is too goddamn high.
Anyway.
But anyway, you were saying.
Fucking, there was a punk show that night, and you know, so Spanish guys are, the Spanish guys are coming in to hang out. I find out from T-Cross, like, okay, just so you know, in case you're working and these guys come in, because they usually only come in on her shifts. Like, that dude right there, he's always carrying. Everyone else he's with is dangerous. Like, you see the knife scars on his face. Like, he's got something on him. Just be cautious, and he's looking for a fight. And I'm like, oh, really? The guy with the stab wounds on his face and arms? Yeah, no, I couldn't pick that one up. Anyway, but like, yeah, I so like their dates were being really annoying, and like even con me out of like $4 off their tab, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let it slide because I don't give a shit. But anyways, one of the dudes like made some kind of gay joke towards this other guy who's there for the punk show. Was like fucking like, I don't know, trying to be a self-righteous, and he starts to argue with this guy very aggressively.
With the Joker?
No, not that guy. One of his friends.
Oh, okay.
Like, and the guy was like, everyone else, like Puerto Rican, old school Bushwick Puerto Rican guy. Listen, man, those guys don't get out of without some fucking. You don't get out of that growing up like that without being a few fights. You know what I mean? I think most people do, but that's just the way we came up. But you know, doesn't matter. And I have to like grab the guy, like Walter. And I fortunately remember
his name was Walter.
I remembered his name. Yeah.
I don't want to get in. You can't. A guy named Walter can't go and start some bullshit.
You can't be tough.
With a guy with scars on his face.
Yeah.
But go ahead, please.
Walter. I'm like, dude, get the fuck over. Come on, just go. And I'm like, and he's like, well, I don't care, because the guy made a gay joke towards him. He made some sort of gay joke, and the guy was like, it's like, that's not okay. It's this and that. I'm like, dude, you gotta pick your fucking battles. He was hammered anyways. But I walked him away, and I'm just like, and then eventually I get him to say, he's like, what's the most easiest way through this? And I'm like, just go in any direction and just keep walking. Like, your tab's good. Don't worry about it. We just don't be here anymore. He's like, okay, tell my friends that I went over to this bar, and I'll be there. Thank you. And he's like hammered. Turned out his friends had left a half hour before that. And right after I sent him on his way, the guy who he was making out with his girlfriend or something, like knife. He goes like, oh yeah, what happened? Which way he go? And I'm like, dude, it's not worth it. Don't worry about it. Like, the guy was looking to fuck. So we think about a situation like that. That's not one where I'm gonna risk getting killed over a gay joke. Now, if you're actively harassing a gay man, or you're actively harassing a black or a Spanish dude for fucking nothing besides their race, yeah, I can get involved in that. That's different. That's that's a little bit different.
And that's
why you're preaching genocide. You're like, if you're a Proud Boy preaching genocide or a neo-Nazi or anything along those lines. Like, I don't want you to feel comfortable.
Where does that, like, where does that shit happen? Like, where did the Nazis, like, where did the tiki torch shit come from? Like, that's what I think the problem is, that in a room with people.
Trump.
That's the obvious.
I'm sorry. I know it's easy. He's an easy scapegoat, but he has normalized that behavior.
Okay.
You know what I would say? How you say, like, oh, are there white guys that say the N-word? You're like, white guys that feel this way? White guys? Like, yeah, they do, but they do it privately.
How racism is supposed to be, like in the privacy of your own.
Why do you think the Klan had hoods?
Right. So, but see, that's the scary shit. At first, I used to say like, "Oh, it's good that Trump is showing us exactly who he is. At least we know what we're getting." And then, like, well, this was like almost 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, maybe not. Don't show us who you really are. Like, this was a terrible idea.
Making it okay to be that, to speak like this.
So that's what I was going back to before. So say you in a room with a couple guys, just, white guys fucking around, and someone says something racist. I feel like when you don't say something at this point, like where we are in the world now, that's worse. But would you feel like So say it was 12 guys you didn't know, like with today's America, in a bar where you're working and you heard something racist.
I'm working?
Not even, I guess you're
If
just...
I'm working, they're leaving.
Or if you weren't working, if you're just hanging out, like, do you feel like you're afraid to say something? Like, are you like, oh shit, you never know. These guys could... We don't know who's, you don't know each other. It's not like fucking gangs where you're wearing a bandana. Everybody has a Lacoste shirt. You don't know what the fuck's going on. So, like, are you afraid to say something? Or are you like, shit, I don't know. I could be outnumbered here. That's crazy.
I go into most aggressive interactions assuming that an altercation can happen. So
that's why we've been cool for so long, because we feel the same way. Like
I'm that's why I'm cautious with my words.
Sure. It's like right before paranoid. Like, oh shit.
I'm cautious with my words because I can see I view this as, because fighting to me is not like something that doesn't happen. That's why people speak the way they do, because they believe they can speak aggressively and abrasively and they'll have no negative consequence from it, because they've never been hit in the face. Because the social constructs and specifically assault laws have made it so it's so fucking difficult to...
I think that would be the first step in the right direction. If you get to punch a motherfucker in the face like twice a year, if you get a little like a PBA card, to be like, nah, no, hold on. Not for real, man. When the cops come, like, hold on, no, I'm good. Hold on, this is my pass.
I got my punch card.
And as long as you can explain it, yeah, exactly. And as long as you can explain it, like, and you present your punch card, and they're like, damn it, what happened? Like, look, this guy said some racist shit. I didn't have time to argue with him and explain. I had an extra punch card. He deserved it. When you guys agree, and a couple people in the bar are like, yeah, true, you hand in your punch card and you move on.
If they're rude, you should be able to slap them at least. You know what I mean? They're just somebody like just open-handed.
But see, it got to be worth a punch. Like a slap is like, all right, that's assault. That was unnecessary. You didn't have to go there. Like a good punch changes someone's life. If you get punched in the face, it changes everything. Like if you're being an asshole and you punch someone in the face, like if I heard a white dude, it's like, yeah, my nigga. So I would just be like, bro, first of all, who raised you? Move on. Like and the crazy shit is I know a girl that she said it and I was just like, wait, what? Like she was white and she said it and I was like, all right. I was really like, not today. But if you were trying to be racist to me, I feel like I just want to. You're probably not even gonna offend me, but I have to punch you just because. Like I gotta fuck you up. I mean, at this point in my life, I probably wouldn't. I'd be like, bro, what's wrong with you?
I let him know. I was like, do you want to fight?
No, you know what? Normally, like I want to say I would do that, but I don't want to get into it. I really don't have the energy to fight people anymore. Like now, I'm like, bro.
I did a little over a month ago. The guy was condescending to me, and we were talking politics. And I didn't want to talk politics with this dude. I didn't know his ass. I was in the park trying to play ping pong with my friends, and this fucking guy. And I had a fucking shitty morning. I was really in a mood, So I'm like, all right. And we were talking. We were just shooting the shit. And this guy was reading what Donald Trump said to the Boy Scout Jamboree, when it was all fucking nonsense. It was complete nonsense. And then I made it, and I said, like, this guy, there was a really convincing study put out that Trump can't read, and this guy gets like super abrasive about it. I was like, oh, do you know, how is your life different and this and that? And I'm like, listen, man, I'm not trying to have this. It was like, I was like, I'm not trying to have this conversation. Well, it's around us all the time. I was like, listen, man, there's plenty of park. You can go anywhere else if you don't want to hear this. I'm just trying to talk to my friends right now. And he keeps going on with me, and he keeps speaking down to me. He's like, I'm only talking to you because you're ignorant. How is your life different? I'm like, well, I have a friend of mine who's currently getting deported because of even though he's been here since he was fucking 5.
Really?
Yeah, and now his daughter's going to be orphaned off because of that shit. He goes like, yeah, show me the paperwork. I go, motherfucker, I will fight you right now. Don't talk to me like that. It's like, let's go. He said, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, don't fucking... No, I'm not going to fight you. That's a bad idea. If you hit me, it's a bad idea. I'm like, I'm not going to... I'm trying... I had enough wherewithal to know not to hit him because I screamed this and everyone was watching and everyone's like trying to like calm me down. And the thing is, none of these people know like I'm the wrong person to try to fucking strong arm. Like, and they're just like, yo, look, this shirtless fucking kid playing basketball. Yo, you got to be calm, all right? And like shoulders pressed forward. I'm like, dude.
Like, chill the fuck out. Like,
I fought 5 guys this morning. Like, I fought 5 guys this morning, and they all have more experience than you.
Do you get tired of fighting?
What, do you want training?
No. I mean, just, like, I'm really, I don't even have the energy to fight someone anymore. Like, I'm like, I've been in so many fucking fights that I don't really
get it. Dude, I don't get into street fights. I don't really get into
like, I was like, But
I don't get into them that often. I will go out of my way to avoid them. I do. I will concede a lot of shit to avoid street fights. But in this case, he just wouldn't. The thing was, I gave him so many outs, so many reasons to walk away and just stop talking. But he was drunk. He was drunk. First of all, he was drunk at like 2 p.m. Fucking, I saw half a bottle of fucking vodka, half an empty bottle of vodka in his pocket. And he's just like, don't fucking talk to me. I don't like to be spoken down. I don't like being spoken down to like that. And much more importantly, the things you're saying are stupid. You're being an asshole. And eventually, I'm like, I stood down because I'm like, okay, he's not gonna. All I needed him to do is touch me. That's all I want. Once he touched me, I'm like, I'm gonna hit you a few times. I'm gonna put you on the ground. I'm gonna choke you unconscious. And then I'm gonna bike around the corner and get a cab.
I'm gonna move on with my day.
Like, I'm gonna bike somewhere else because they know what my bike looks like and they know what my shirt looks like. I'm gonna get inside a cab and I'm gonna pay $30 to go to the Williamsburg Bridge and I'll get my bike later.
It really fucking puzzles me how people still support Trump. Well, yeah, it does, actually, no. Let me take that back. It doesn't puzzle me because the people who do it, I'm just like, oh, okay. I know exactly what type of person you are at this point.
Okay, the Steelers did their ticket sales go down at all when Ben Roethlisberger was proven to have taken that 17-year-old girl in the bar of a bathroom that he
I was going to say which time, but okay, you're talking about the bathroom incident. Like,
raped the shit out of her?
Yeah.
Because what politics is the same thing as sports. It's modern-day tribalism. You develop your idea of a team, or your tribe, rather, and you stick with it no matter what because it's a part of you. That's why you see people with with Denver Broncos tattoos or things along those lines. It's the same thing with your political party. You view it as a part of yourself. They're representing your interests. Therefore, to back away from that is to back away from yourself and take a long, hard look at your own existence. That's the problem. That's how I view it. I think that's
of course.
I think that's not all of it. Obviously, they're also just people who just refuse to just look at facts and logistics and they say, and like people can't just say, I've made a terrible mistake. Right. A lot of people have. I know a lot of people who initially voted for Trump. It's like, oh, it seems like a change for the norm. Like, okay, that's a fair point. I understand that, but there was Bernie Sanders.
I disagree with that stance so much in the beginning. Like, they're like, oh, well, he's going to shake things up. And I didn't know it was going to be this bad, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I don't know if that's a valid reason to vote for the president of the United States. If this was your local mayor or some asshole or whoever else, fine. If we were voting on the fucking ESPYs, cool. But if for the president, like, I don't know, bro. But, like, now when people support that bullshit, like, when Rex Ryan came out and said, when he was like, yeah, I supported... Right. My wife has a Mark Sanchez tattoo. But when he was like, I supported Trump, but I didn't sign up for all this shit. He's like, this is just crazy. Like, when he said that, I'm like, wow. He opened the door for a lot more people. I know people say that Trump supporters they owe us an apology, but like, an apology is not going to fix shit. I don't give a fuck about that.
I know.
Like,
who cares?
Yeah, like, let's just not go in the wrong direction. Fuck the apology. Let's just start moving. I'm not saying, like, this impeach shit, like, it's not going to be that easy. Yeah. But as far as what the people are doing, like, that's what's concerned me. If Trump was on Twitter saying one thing and the people were like, I can't believe this is our president, and like, everyone was on the same page, like, there's people that are like, yeah, absolutely, and it's good. And I'm like, whoa, like, what are we doing? Like, how are you supporting this shit? I want to feel like it's social fucking justice. I mean, social media warriors just going on, but I'm like, nah. Like, the
people
world
are doing
is...
it.
Yeah, people are actually living by this shit. This is fucked up.
Yeah, it's also... The other problem was you just had a candidate that nobody wanted. Like, very few people were really excited about Hillary Clinton. She was extremely qualified, arguably more qualified than any candidate ever, considering her time as Secretary of State.
I agree. I actually agree with that.
I think she was extremely qualified. She would have made a fine president. She wasn't what we wanted, and she isn't what we need, and she wasn't what we needed.
You know what's crazy about that? I don't want to say that she wasn't what we wanted or what we needed. But I feel like with all the shit that goes on and all the scandals that we're talking about, Benghazi and all that other bullshit, it's not going to be perfect. No president's going to be perfect, other than Obama, because he's the GOAT.
I didn't care about Benghazi, to be totally honest. Everyone fucks up.
That's what I'm saying. Like that was like, all right.
Nor I didn't care about the emails either. It was just
I definitely didn't give a fuck about the emails.
No, I cared. A lot of it was just the fact that she takes a lot of money from big donors, and she had private speeches from Goldman Sachs that were eventually leaked.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, where she even. I'm sorry to
No. Go ahead.
Where she was just willing to say like, oh, there's a public persona and a private persona. It's like, oh, you just confirmed everything that we like. When they actually leaked that, they're like, oh, you confirmed all the concerns we all had, which was that you will say what you need to get elected, and then just continue making tax breaks and favoring the rich.
Right.
Things along those lines, like things that pretty much all politicians do. Now, that's something that Donald Trump sure as shit is doing right now.
That's where I was going. Like, so a lot of Trump supporters or whoever were like, yeah, she, her scandal, she's taking money and all this other bullshit. But Trump, he's a businessman. And I remember saying to myself, like, what the fuck do you think he's gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know how easy it is to keep a casino afloat? And he fucking, how do you bankrupt a casino? I lost $80 in 3 minutes, motherfucker.
Oh shit, we did go to the Trump.
Yeah, no, we went. No, not even there. Like I did that. I lost the Trump. No, we did go to the Trump
Do you
once.
remember that?
Yeah, we did. We went once, and it was like, okay,
was that where the bar was? It was like a bar in the back. I'm trying because we went to we went to two places where I lost $100 and like fucking 3 hands of blackjack, and I was like, nope, never doing this shit again.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking.
But if that was at the Trump, man,
I hope so.
I got my shit. My feelings about him just got a little deeper. Like that's some bullshit. Trump.
I'm just saying. Everyone says he's a businessman. Like, bro, he was born with a shitload of money. And then and the thing was that he's an ostentatious individual. It makes him look important. It makes him seem.
Would you stop burping in the goddamn microphone?
I burped in my hand that time.
Jesus Christ. Listeners, I apologize.
I want to see. I want to see the sound wave of my burp into the microphone.
You're an asshole.
It's gonna look like the Rocky Mountains. But silver bullet. But yeah, no, like the reason why people think he's a successful businessman is because he tells everyone he's a successful businessman. The same reason Conor McGregor, everyone says he's the greatest of all time because he keeps calling himself the greatest of all time, and both those things are not accurate.
Good. Let's get off politics for a little.
Sick.
I had more shit to say about Trump, but we talk about enough Trump talk.
I'll be back.
Please. Yeah, exactly. McGregor. Now, in the beginning of the shit, like all the pre-fight antics, I forget what that shit's called.
Press conference?
Yeah, the press. Yeah, right. The press conference weigh-ins, all that
press
shit.
Media.
Whatever that shit's called. Right. I was
media.
not a fan of that shit at all.
Oh, really?
Because it just felt
contrived.
I don't know what that word means. It's a big word.
Sorry.
Forced.
Felt forced.
Yeah, it felt like funny. It just felt like WWE. It was just like I was like, I'm not comfortable with this as a boxing fan. Like McGregor grabbing his head and all that other shit. I just wasn't feeling it. But
someone was kind of funny.
I really didn't think any of it. I was just like,
the motherfucker can't even read.
That shit. Hey,
okay,
that one.
I laughed really hard.
I think that was the first one, right? Like he was like,
the first or the second one?
Yeah, like dress your age and all that shit like that.
I think it was in. I think they're in Canada. No, I think they're in Canada for it, and it was just fucking brilliant. Like Conor was great, like, and then Floyd just comes like hard work, and like Floyd actually made good points. Like, yo, you're idolizing a quitter. He quits, and I'm like, yeah, he does. I've watched him quit, and like people are like not giving him shit and not giving him credit for it. I'm like, he's right, and then no, he did in that fight.
You think he quit? Dude. I thought he just was gassed.
He's gassed. He put his hands up. He stopped throwing punches.
Yeah,
it's a way out. There are different ways out.
How did you feel? Did you feel he's an Irishman, right? Did you feel like you had to make the choice?
No, I don't like Conor.
Because as long as I can remember, not you hated Floyd. I know you respected him, but I remember. What'd you say? You said you hate him?
No, Floyd. No, I hate Conor.
Oh, that's why I wanted to ask you. Like, I always remember when Floyd fights would come, you wanted him to get knocked out just because, but you didn't. Yeah, you don't hate Floyd Mayweather.
I don't like him as a person. I don't like the things he's done, but he is the best boxer of our generation. He's the best defensive boxer ever. He's in every top 5.
Oh, he has to be.
He's in.
He has to be in your top 3.
Top 3 ever at this point. You can make a really solid argument for him being the best ever. Now there are people who have made. Now there are people who are much better boxing aficionados than myself, and they've made good points, such as that there were boxers that were bad stylistic matchups for him that never fought him, that never got to fight him. I can't remember the name of the dude, but like he got robbed of a decision, and he was saying because he lit up Floyd in sparring one day, and they're like, oh, we don't want him fighting. We don't want him fighting that. That was
Floyd actually got robbed in the Olympics.
Yes, he
I don't
did.
know if people remember
no, that is true. That is 100% true.
So that's why
right there, bro.
What? Oh, thank you. That's the weed.
Yeah.
But
oh, you don't say.
but I that's what also when I read that he was when I saw like the whatever documentary that he was robbed in the Olympics, I had a lot more respect for him after that. Like after that, I was like, you know what? I see why he talks shit, and I love Floyd. Don't get me wrong.
Homeboy didn't talk that much shit till he fucking. He went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather.
Right.
Now, when you say if I don't like him, yeah, I always wanted to watch him knock out because he was kind of a piece of shit, and also he beat the shit out of his wife. Like he's a convicted wife beater.
I'm not gonna lie, I do forget about that.
Yeah,
I really do.
A lot of people do.
It's fucked up.
Why do you think I brought up the Roethlisberger thing? Everyone remembers Michael Vick.
I actually remember.
Yeah, well, because you're more of a football fan than anything else than you are a boxing fan.
Floyd did like 30 days. I remember he shaved his head.
Yeah.
I mean, no, his head was always shaved. He had hair when he came out of some shit.
He beat the shit. He like put her head through a car door. Like he's a fucking piece of shit. That's why I hate Ezekiel. That's why I'm like not cool with Ezekiel Elliott right now.
Zeke didn't do it.
You don't think he did it?
I don't know. I try not to read celebrity gossip, but you can't. Being on fucking Twitter all the time, you can't avoid it. Yeah. If I was under the impression that it was like a setup and he didn't do it,
I've decided. But I'm off Facebook until I don't want to go back on it again. Once I don't feel the urge to go back on, I'll give it like 2 more weeks and then I'll go back on.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Facebook's no good.
It's really terrible. I might just not go back.
Yeah, get a Twitter, bro. Like, I'm tired of seeing niggas I know's problems.
My fucking favorite thing my friend Steve, the guy I was telling you, yells at people in his neighborhood. By the way, Steve's a white guy. I should mention that. He goes like, yo, if you want all the good things about Facebook without the hindrance of too many dumb white people, go on Twitter.
Go on Twitter, bro. He is absolutely
right. Fucking, and I love when I hear people talking about Black Twitter.
No, Black Twitter's a real thing. Black Twitter's lit. Just come check it out. Nah, for real. That's where you'll be surprised.
Come to the dark side.
Come to the dark. There you go. Come to the dark side, my brother. Like that's where you need to be. Black Twitter is crazy. Like that's where all the culture comes from. You'd be surprised. Like when you're on. See, I'm just in the loop with a lot of weird shit.
I think just looping back with the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor thing. I remember it was a few days before the fight. I'm sitting at the coffee shop. And this guy knows me. He knows I'm a fight fan. He goes, so what do you think of the Conor McGregor, this McGregor Mayweather fight? And I just looking down. I look over at him. I go, I don't.
It was just one of those times you're like, nope, not doing this.
Everyone has been talking to me about it for fucking months. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I was much more interested in the Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight because that was.
I did not watch that, and I wanted to.
I couldn't.
I'm over pay-per-views. Like if I don't find that shit streaming somewhere on Twitter,
I was gonna go to Rockville Center to see my buddy Crazy Eddie. It's just I just finished work and I was tired. I did not want to drive to fucking Rockville Center to nurse my beers, so I have to drive back. And also I had my friend's birthday / housewarming party, and they had like hinted that they were going to try to stream the pay-per-view, and it just didn't happen. And do you want to know what happened? I found out the result.
Like the judge or some shit, right?
Yeah,
I've read about it, but I just
the result was effective. What had happened was it was a draw, but everyone thought Triple G should have won. Everyone thought Triple G should have won.
I see. That's the shit with boxing. Like, now, do you really want to give fucking $70 for a part 2? Like, I don't. I mean, they didn't get the first one, but I only pay for Floyd fights because
I'll watch this one. I'll watch this. These fights are fun.
You would watch number 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you watch McGregor, Mayweather?
No.
2?
No.
Sure you would.
No, I wouldn't. I was really mad.
Really, you wouldn't?
No, I don't care.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's not gonna because. What's going to be different? Floyd, everyone's saying McGregor did so good. I'm like, you know what? He did. You want to know why? Because Floyd wasn't throwing punches. He was wearing him out. He was staying in his face, letting him throw punches, keeping his gloves up, moving and jucking, jiving, moving because he knew he'd wear himself out because the guy is not a boxer. He hasn't developed the proper cardio. Then when he saw that he was starting to get tired, he picked up the pace and finished him quickly.
speaking of finishing them quickly, Aaron Hernandez. Now,
Like, what did I miss? Like, he's been in jail for like 3 years. What happened?
Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What did you miss?
Aaron Hernandez, the dude for the Patriots, right?
You serious right now?
No, who's Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah, you know he killed himself, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I see. You're like,
Oh, shit. No, I had no idea.
Oh, that's
Goddamn.
fucked up.
Wow.
He hung himself in his cell. Well, that just got dark. If you didn't know, then that just fucks everything up. Like,
Yeah. Well,
your
okay,
face
then.
was just like, what? I don't get it.
Like, what happened? Like, did he get paroled or something? Like,
No,
way.
he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Well, I forget the joke I just had, but I wasn't a Hernandez joke, but it was just I was going there with it.
The best joke I heard about that was like Aaron Hernandez is going to prison at tight end and he's going to come out a wide receiver.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? See, those jokes were funny. I was seeing Aaron Hernandez like death jokes, even though I kind of just made one a little bit, like I kind of just went there. But I was seeing like memes and shit, and I'm like, this is fucked up. But that's where I was going with it. Like, he fucking hung himself. What do you know? Well, first of all, they found like one of the worst cases of CTE.
Yeah, on him.
Like ever. But
That's interesting.
that's what I was gonna say. Like,
Might be because because he's one of the first ones to die of the modern game. While everyone's like, but you got better athletes. Think about
you think
it.
it's gonna be worse?
I think it's gonna be worse because you got better athletes than you did in the 60s, and 70s, and 80s. Now you had a harder game. You definitely had a harder game, and that's why they're trying to mitigate that with the rule changes where you can't like go with head contacts out. And I mean, like that's good, and that's good. But I think what's going to end up like they're trying to like eliminate football. Like, I think one of two things is going to happen: either people are going to have to like sign a consent form, or they're going to eliminate football.
Consent forms.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen because they're not going to eliminate football. Not going to eliminate combat sports. It's just not the way things work. They made like boxing came into America as an illegal. I'm reading a book on 18th century, 19th century boxing right now, and it's cultural impact. It's really it's like it's called The Manly Art. So I had to buy it. It's fucking really good. Now it started illegal. It was completely illegal, but the papers would still cover it because they would find a place to go. And they'd find a place to go where the cops wouldn't be able to find them, or they'd pay the cops off usually, or they do it like on a boat, like on a boat in international waters, or whatever, and they'd fight. So what's going to happen is like if they make football illegal, it'll stay illegal.
Nah, they're not making football.
There's
illegal.
no way they're going
to make.
It's just fewer people are going to let their kids play it, I guess. But you sign the fucking waiver, man.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not gonna say my whole life, but I don't know about every guy, so I'll just speak for me. I assume every guy has that dream of their son becoming like quarterback or their son being a star athlete. Now that I'm old and I have a son, I really say to myself like, damn, I kind of don't want my son to play football until he's like, at least in like 10th grade. When he has I know that's probably not going to happen, and by that time if you really want to take it serious, like by that time I want to say it's a little too late. I mean, unless he's a fucking freak athlete, don't get me wrong.
You want my honest opinion?
Shoot.
I think it's better to start them young and then teach them proper tackling because when they're young, they don't have the explosive power to create those concussions or create problems like that. So you get used to the game and you get better at it. When you get older and stronger, that's when those things happen. That's what like in kickboxing, that's what they do. They'll get kids involved very young and they'll have them spar all the time because they haven't developed the power to cause knockouts or real brain damage. And then they learn how to actually hit, they learn how to strike, they learn how to defend, they learn how to move their head, they keep their hands up, things along those lines. That's why boxers always, the best boxers started at such a young age.
You know what?
Floyd Mayweather did that shit at 5.
When you say that, you're absolutely right. Like, I forgot they're not going to be doing the shit that we were doing at fucking 8 and 10 years old. They're going to be learning real techniques. So when you say it, it's like, oh yeah, very true. Like a lot is going to be different by that time.
It's good to have me as a friend. I think shit through.
Yeah, because I forget for a second that we were just, remember the gauntlet? That was one of the best days where like, I'm going to run into this dude as hard as I fucking can. Like, you know what's crazy? One of my memories of football is you taking a flop for me. You're a good friend. Like, I remember we were in the gauntlet and you were like, bro, just run as hard as you can. Like, just do it. And I was just like, I'm like, sure, bro? And you're like, yeah, just do it, bro. It's all good. And I remember like, you fucking like, you like, backflipped, and I was like, well, that was dramatic, and everyone was like, whoa, and I was like, wow. I was just like, wow, this dude's I was like, wow, this dude's a good friend. Like that's friendship right there.
Oh man, but I like rugby more just because the lack of pads.
I'm afraid of rugby. Like I'm like, fuck that, bro.
I'm debating if I want to even after the shoulder surgery. I'm like scared a little bit too now. Well,
how is your shoulder feeling?
Feels great.
Good.
Honestly,
you back fighting?
I've been training.
I mean, like, I know you train. Like, I know you spar. Like, are you back, like, going hard? I mean.
I've been going hard I haven't stopped going hard, dude. Well, I did stop going hard, but yeah, for a while. Yeah, it's just, hell, that's not, the left shoulder doesn't bother me that much. There was, like, one point since the surgery, it felt a little unstable, and I went back to doing the exercises, and it feels fine. The right one's, like, stiff. I need to get a sports massage to work out a lot of the problems I'm having.
Do those come with a happy ending?
No, it's a medical real fucking sports massage.
That's whack.
Yeah, it's less than awesome. Yeah, it's less than awesome. All right, I'll do one more. God damn it.
There you go. Now you're talking. What's with this elbow thing? For those of you who can't see this shit, James is opening. What is that? A Miller Lite? What the fuck is that?
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite is opening with his elbow, but it's like it's it's some weird shit. You gotta see this shit.
So basically, you stick your forearm on top of the cap, and then you can twist it and then twist it off because it has enough torque. My buddy Matt, I bartend with him.
Is this what happens when you work in a bar?
Yeah, I saw him doing it, and he taught me how to do it. And the first couple times I fucked up, and I actually have it now just because he's better with Budweisers or Bud Lights. Like you can see, I got the little fucking rings now. And unfortunately, it always looks like ringworm. And a couple.
Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna take a picture of it?
No. Okay. And actually, I was just thinking about a ringworm. I was like,
yeah. No. It's actually funny. I was able to do it on my neck a couple times, so I just stuck it on my neck and then twisted off. And then the problem with that was if you miss it, if it doesn't come off, then it makes a gross ring. And so I had this like gross ring on my neck because the times I fucked it up. So I stopped doing it. My Uncle Pete used to do it with his eyeball when he was telling me when he was bartending.
I think I met your Uncle Pete.
You probably have, yeah.
I believe I did.
Yeah, he's good people, but. No, it's just a fun way. It's a fun way to do it. Not everyone does it. I mean, I've actually I don't do it as much when I work because my boss saw me doing it. She's like, hey, that's gross. Don't do that.
What's the craziest thing you've seen being a bartender in a bar?
Craziest. Bar backing. This is kind of funny. One dude offered to pay me $20 for a condom once. And he was like
you know how horny you have to be to give somebody $20.
I'm like sold. It's like I keep in my back pocket. Yeah.
For a condom, it's been in his wallet for a while. Like that's hilarious.
And anyways, so somebody they end up leaving. It was like this old dude, kind of good looking younger woman. I'm like, all right, good on you, bro.
The craziest thing.
I'm not done. That's not the crazy part.
Oh, I was going to.
This person the bathroom's like destroyed, and I'm bar backing, so that's my job. There is a broken glass, a stream of blood going from the floor to the toilet to the sink, and like where the sink had gone out. Fucking an additional broken Budweiser bottle and a used condom right on the floor.
Ooh,
so. Basically, I think the dude and the girl fucked in the bathroom and broke a glass, and then they cut themselves on it, and then
I don't know, bro. That sounds kind of like that should have been investigated. I don't think it might not have went that way. I don't know. Like, what's the special victims? What's the SVU theme? New York City detectives.
Oh, gross. Like, I'm not sure. Like, there's that, and then there's fucking. Craziest thing I've seen. I mean, then there was just a lot of fights.
I learned a lot of shit in a bar. Working in a bar made me not want to
work in a bar.
Drink. It really made working in a bar. I was like, you sit, especially doing security. I'm looking and I'm like, this is what I look like when I go out. Like, this can't be what I look like when I go out. And you think you talk to people and they feel like they're being regular, and I'm like, damn. Like I remember that Easter or Lent. I'm not even religious, but I gave up alcohol for Lent because I was like this, and it was during that time. Like it was right during that period. I was like, this is fucked up.
See, here's the problem I have is I kind of keep my shit together when I'm drinking. Like I've always been able to do that. I've never been like a sloppy drunk. I'll get fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But like nowadays, I've learned to not get distracted.
We're on the podcast, so I'm not gonna. I like 4 stories.
I've grown up.
I was like, right when you're saying that, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm not 17 anymore.
Okay.
I'm not chugging.
I forget we're about to be 30. Yeah, you're right.
That's the point. I'm not chugging Georgie vodka at half.
Okay. But as you were saying that, I'm like,
and then like you have to drop me off a half block from my house.
Yo,
where
wow.
I fucking like
Do you
barely.
remember that?
No, I don't.
Wait, what?
That's like the only. That's one of the only rolling blackouts I've ever had. Like a true blackout.
Let me tell you. That was one of the craziest things that has ever happened.
And that dude kept telling me, he's like, nah, that didn't happen. I was like, no, that's not how it went. Fucking Sean Brown, piece of shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that factor.
Yeah, where he fucking left us to die.
Yo, I think
like,
that was the first time I've ever been abandoned. Like, he's like, yo, I forgot. You know what's crazy? I forgot how we got stuck like that. I just remember being stuck on the fucking beach.
He's a gentleman.
And I didn't know. How old were we?
17.
Nah, I don't think we're that old, bro.
Was it junior year? Because it was the day before a football game.
It was a football, but think of...
We were 16. No, it was 16.
How old were you in like 10th grade?
No, 11th.
I think we were in 10th grade.
It was 11th grade, bro.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So how old are you? It's like 16,
no, we were 15,
17?
15. No, 15 going on... No, 16 going on 17. We're 16.
This dude was what, 25?
No, he was like 19.
He felt 25.
19 or
he was driving, so when we were 15 or 16...
He might have been 20.
Having your own car was like, you might as well be 30.
Homeboy was 19 or 20.
Where was that? Bar Beach?
Is that what we kind of? I always called it Guido Beach just because my other friends. The first time they went there, a bunch of Guidos were hanging out drinking, and they were just being Guidos.
Okay.
Is that racist? I don't care.
It might be flirting with it. It might be flirting with it.
Well, whatever. I don't give a shit.
But I remember
white people. It's a white people racial slur.
Oh, word? Guido is like a slur?
No, it's not. I'm saying it doesn't count.
I was going to say, I didn't know
doesn't
that. My
count.
bad to my Guido friends.
It's like, fuck it. It doesn't count. Like, cracker doesn't count. Like, because you know what cracker is?
Cracker counts. Did you know that the term cracker...
I did, because I told you this.
You told me that?
Yeah.
Bro, that shit fucking bugged me out. The term cracker... It's like, it's not fun to say, even though this contradicts what I was saying before, but it's a little bit, when you get it out, it's a little bit nice to say, but that shit comes from cracking the whip. I never, like, when I heard that, first of all, it was like fucking depressing at first, and then it was like, oh man, I was like, that's fucked up. Like, that's fucked. I never really...
You thought it was the saltine.
Yeah, I thought it was from, like, you know, the...
Pale-ass saltine cracker.
Yeah, right, exactly. That shit was, like, reading that, it was like, this is fucked up.
It's a lot.
But anyway, what were we just saying? Oh,
Guido Beach, Sean Brown, me being sloppy, and then we had to play football the next game.
I remember he was like, yo, I'm going to run to the car, get some food. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, fucking 2 hours later, you're, like, passed out drunk. I'm like, hold on, bro. It's fucking freezing. Like, is the sun coming up? Like, where the fuck is this?
November.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a poor decision I'd made.
And I had to carry you up like 65,000 stairs.
I remember that.
I felt like it was a pyramid.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I look for that place. I don't know exactly where those stairs are, but I passed by.
Yeah, just like, I think it was my junior... You know what happened? Like, when I took that year off school, that's when I learned how to drink. Is because... that's when I started driving to bars. And so I had to learn how to slow the fuck down because I didn't want to drive drunk. So, like, that's kind of how that went.
Do you regret going to college?
Do I regret going to college? No. I don't regret going to college. It made me a better person. I did not have a good time in college. I did not. I made a few friends, but not that many. I didn't get laid that much. I only started getting laid. I just never... I wish I'd gone somewhere different in regards to social aspects of it, but it was a good school, and it taught me a lot about the world once I was old enough and mature enough.
Do you look back on it and realize, or it taught you?
My last year and a half is when it clicked. I wish I'd gone later. I wish I'd lived some life and then went to college. But the problem is with that, it's good to just kind of have a consistent flow of education. So if you have that breakup, it can fuck up the what you're used to. You go like someone's, oh, we'll do a gap year, but that's just an idea. You know what I mean? That's an idea I have about it. But I think as an older, more mature individual, I would have gotten more out of it. Having looked at my friends who have gone to school at an older age, they get a lot more out of it than I did until I was 21, 22. I'm like, oh. It teaches you to look at the world a different way, really enjoy it, really get into, really figure out things out and how things were or how things are, specifically with history. You know, like, oh, not all history is factual. It is what it is. It is told by the people who won. It's told in their way, but that's not always the whole way it's about. Like the Howard Zinn's The People's History of the United States is a book written from the perspective, the way I like to best describe it is the book written from the perspective of the losers of everything. It's written from the perspective of the natives when Columbus came, from the perspective of the slaves, from the perspective of the socialists and the poor people, the people coming through. And as opposed to when you just say, like, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, settled America's like, no, Columbus was a fucking asshole. Like he homeboy offered 20. He offered like however many. First things first. I'm not even gonna get into all the rape and murder that we all know about. Like we all know the rape and murder. Yeah, he was a fucking dickbag. But here's my favorite story about
you were fucking nuts. That's hilarious.
He's a dickbag. Fuck Columbus. Not even like, okay, listen, for those who don't know that he
Pardon
would,
me, listeners, but that was just hilarious to me. Because it was true. Like you're 100% accurate. But go ahead.
Yeah. So not even just like, oh yeah, he went over there, he poisoned, raped their people, fucking brought them like diseases and other shit. Oh, the fucking. But you know what he did? He said, hey, 20 grand to whoever spots land first. And this dude,
really?
Like, I don't know. I'm just saying 20 grand. I don't know how much money.
I'm like, damn, that's a lot of fucking money.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. I don't remember how much it was. It's like to whoever, because
podcast facts. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, oh, land ho, great, I see it. And then Columbus like, oh yeah, I saw that last night. You don't get that money. Oh. Right there.
Wow.
Like, okay, besides being a terrible human being, using modern weaponry against like native people that are trying to be polite and nice, and then using beads and all other shit.
We knew
like,
Columbus wasn't shit.
You're fucking your own crew. You're fucking your own crew.
Your morals is no good.
Like, go fuck yourself.
The only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace, in the words of Jay-Z.
Cheers.
But I forget how we got into this tangent. Oh, we're talking about college. That's one thing that I don't want to say regret, but I do wish that I went away at least 1 year to college, like just to experience it. But you know, life didn't work that way.
It was good and it was bad, and there are other things. And like, there's also the medication mix-ups that took me till I was 21 to figure out that the reason why I had such a hard time writing college papers was because the ADHD pills they were giving me, effectively meth. You didn't know that? ADHD pills are meth.
Wait, like real facts? Like that's a real thing?
You didn't know that it's amphetamine. What it does, here's what it does is it overstimulates people with ADHD who have already have an overstimulated mind. It overstimulates them so their brain forces to shut down and just focus in. Now, what it did for me was like, it was great for like mathematics and research and things like that, just hard evidence. Creatively, I couldn't write a thing. I would sit and stare at my computer screen for hours and just get frustrated. And man, I couldn't figure out why until it would wore off. And then I just would start, then I'd bang it out. And I thought to my head, like like,
was this high school? Or like
elementary, high school, and most of college.
When did you start taking fucking medication?
5 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not happy about that. I really wish it was different, but.
No, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'm just not happy.
But. Meth is like,
the chemical composition of an ADHD medication and methamphetamines is, or Adderall specifically. Adderall is one carbon Jesus Christ.
It's amazing that you know this, by the way, but go ahead.
I've done my research. It's only one carbon molecule away from methamphetamines. Now, Ritalin, the other ones, they're slightly different, but the mechanism is the same. They're all amphetamines. So they're all amphetamines, and that's what it did. And so it made me very difficult for me. I would just sit and have these fucking panic attacks because I couldn't write these papers. And then one day, after the year I took off, I came back and I was writing, and I went to, and I had to get another extension on the paper because that's what I always did. And I forgot to take my pill, and I banged out my paper in it was like a 6-7 page, it was a 5 to 7 page paper, and I banged it out like an hour and a half, and I got the best grade in the class. Like my papers are always good.
In Binghamton.
Yeah,
which is no small feat. But
I was always a good writer, but it took forever me to do that, and I remember that. I'm like, oh my God, you're fucking kidding me. Is that what it was? And then I go to my psychiatrist because he had to go to them every 6 months to keep getting scripts. I'm like, oh yeah. So I figured out what the problem was all those years. For all those years of me, because I've been seeing the same guy since I was 5. Same guy's been prescribing the same shit. 3 different offices, and since I was 5 years old. So I figured out what the issue was. Turns out the medication was creatively stunning me creatively, so I couldn't write these papers. He goes, oh yeah, that sometimes happens.
Damn.
You know how many fucking how much most of
That's fucked up.
I'm not gonna lie here. Most of my issues in school, or most of my mental breakdowns and everything, all of my issues where I had to go somewhere, I had to go away for a few weeks to reset and figure that out. Almost every single one of them was because I couldn't write a paper. Almost every single thing. It's either because I couldn't write a paper or because I wasn't able to exercise to be a normal person. It's usually because I couldn't, but it always came from there was a paper I couldn't write and then I just fucking lost it.
Wow.
I hope that his kids get cancer.
Jesus Christ, James.
Before he dies. Because I want him to feel that pain.
I'm going to take a drink to that.
I want him to feel that pain.
Just when I want to say that's fucked up of you, I get it. That was obviously extreme.
I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating because these individuals are trained to always keep medicating, and they don't look at the issue as
fucked up for him. Just oh yeah, right.
They're not classically trained to treat. I'm saying it because I'm speaking in a hyperbole, and that was probably a little too aggressive. Oops. Who the fuck would I do that? But no, just they're not trained to look at an issue as, oh, yeah, maybe the medication's the problem. They look at it as oh, this medication's wrong. Try a new one. That's how they're trained. That's how they're taught. It's not their fault. It's just the fault of the pharmaceutical industry who was trained and taught these people.
Right.
So, yeah.
The crazy shit also with school. During that period, I was one of the worst students. One of our, I can't give the details on the record.
Tell me what class it was so I know.
No. So, no, it's not about that shit. I'll tell you. But someone's doing a written piece on me that we know. But I'll give the details later with that. But they were talking give me some early information. Excuse me, sorry about your child with these fucking coronas about your childhood, and I was talking about school, and I was like, wow. I was the worst fucking student ever, but it wasn't, and we've been friends since what, 8th grade?
7th, 8th grade.
7th, 8th grade?
You're
8th grade the second time.
It was your first 8th grade,
right.
Your first 8th grade, my 7th grade.
Got you. And that's what I was talking about. I'm like, yo, I got left back. That was a crazy, time for me. I was getting through that made me the man I am today. Getting through that shit. I'm going. I don't know about you guys. If everyone's been in that, not everyone. If anyone's been in that situation, but to go back into the same grade was the first day of school was wait, this is really happening. Granted, it wasn't from medication, which is
mine was. Yeah, I still finished high school with a good.
But I felt like I had.
I still had a good grade and stuff.
Had some of the best grades in the school. No,
something like that. Yeah, I did well. I did well. It was just I had issues.
Start being humble and shit. But that feeling was it made me the man I am today. Being able to get through that was shit. If we could do this, we could do anything.
I think you became a better. No, that's not what made you the better person. You became a better person in your 20s. You're always fun and cool, whatever. But you came more. Your motivation factor came in kind of recently. When it comes to advancing yourself personally, and that's why you're frustrated at it because you're looking at the person you are now, and the person you were, and you wish the person you are now could have gone through school.
See, the person I was, it wasn't. What was that? Fucking 13? I don't know what it was. But at the time, I was living at my grandma's house in Hempstead, and that fucking commute was crazy.
Yeah, that was in high school.
Right. So I was just
tough, yeah.
I'm listen, man, but Manhasset fucking 28 absences. It's over for I actually just explained the piece that I sent to the person who's doing the piece. I put it up. I put it up as a podcast. So I just threw it up. So I didn't really. They don't really know where it's coming from, but with 28 absences, the class was over, and that was one of the hardest times. And I remember my guidance counselor was like, "Do you want to take medication?" She didn't ask me. I don't even think she could do that.
No.
But she asked me like, "Do you want to see someone? Maybe there's something they could do for you as far as like medication." And I was thinking like, "The fuck would medication do? Wake me up on time?" Like, you know what I mean? And I remember I remember.
They don't know what else to do.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember being like, "Why would she?" Or why would medication help? And I just, luckily I didn't take it, but I remember it being like an option for me. Like, hey, you could take ADHD medication or ADD, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna help. Like, you know what I mean? But it's crazy that you went through that shit. That's fucked up.
I actually believe that the ADHD pills were the reasons for a lot of like the crazy psycho McKenna things was because you're giving this kid fucking amphetamine, like a kind of an anxious kid. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I'm normal here. There's definitely some issues there. But what happened was all the issues, they're like, oh, that seems to be a problem. Let's just add an antidepressant. Oh, let's add an anti-anxiety. Let's just get in a mood stabilizer as well. Oh, none of these things are working. Why don't we try an antipsychotic? Let's go down that road. 18 different medications from ages 5 till 21.
Wow.
18.
That's insane.
A new medication would come out, and they're like, hey, let's just add this, because they're like, let's try this out, because this doesn't seem to be working, and this will add to your antidepressant. This will help it, because the antidepressant alone isn't enough, so let's try the Cymbalta, or we could try the Wellbutrin, we could try the Xanax. Xanax not so good. How about Klonopin? That's okay. The Concerta's not working, we can go back to Focalin. Because it all started with Ritalin, and then it went to Adderall, and I remember, like, they got me off Adderall, because I got suspended in 4th grade for, like, fucking... oh wait, I can talk about it. It still bothers me to bring it up. But one girl told everyone that I threatened to kill all the girls in school, and they all believed it. That wasn't the thing that I don't think that. No, I didn't. What I did do was,
the crazy thing is I know you tell me, but go ahead.
No, I didn't do. But I was like definitely I was on a kick. I was not in the mood that day. She was giving me shit the whole day. What I did too is I remember like when we're coming back from the concert. This is a school concert at night, and she goes, "You ruined the whole concert." And I'm like, "You're gonna die," something like that. And then I was running my head into a wall, like in front of a bunch of people, and I just said, "I'm gonna get my shotgun and kill him," something like that. I don't remember, but like something like said something.
So you kind of did it.
I don't remember what I said specifically, but I remember bringing up a shotgun. But like, yeah, what she said specifically, apparently she was telling people before the concert, before any of this had happened. And they're like, okay, so we'll just get you off the Adderall. Like, that must be it's like, yeah, okay, then they just give you a different one.
What were you thinking at this time? Like, all right, maybe the drugs. Or were you just like
10 years old?
Yeah, right. So
I don't know.
Damn, that's crazy.
10 years old, dude. And that's where the whole Psycho James thing came to be.
See, I didn't know
you didn't go to elementary school.
Yeah, we didn't go to elementary school together, but I wonder what they would do now. I mean, you did threaten shooting.
Listen, man, I'm not claiming to be innocent here, but like, I almost wish I didn't bring it up. But I mean, like that was not good, and that was when they started me the Adderall, and they took me off the Adderall, just assuming that was it, and that probably had a lot to do with it. You know, it's not a good pill. I mean, like, just you're just fucking with a developing brain.
That's what I think the worst part is, like, that you were so young. If you were like 17 through 20 or 17 through 23, you'd be like, all right, sure.
It's a developing brain, you know. Yeah. You're throwing drugs at it.
But you're not a fucking zombie. You know, you're not. You turned out to be a good guy.
Yeah. Because I actively chose to get off all of it. I remember the day I decided that. I just worked out. Then I quit a cold turkey. I worked out 3 hours a day for a month and change. That way, and I remember it was funny. My mom was like, "Oh, James, you seem really good lately. What's going on?"
Stop taking my fucking medication.
She freaked out.
Little did she know, all she had to do was give you weed.
Nah, not as a kid.
No?
No, I don't know. That would have been too real. But yeah, no, the thing was, like, yeah, that all sucked, but I mean, like, I think people forgot about it, and I just don't, I mean, like, I'm not happy. I don't remember all the details of it. I just remember, like, as an elementary school, I think I calmed down a little better. I was a little better in high school. But I mean, like, just wasn't good. And then you get added in puberty to all this shit, which is not
Do you think
good.
you have a fucking, like, anger issue? I know I have a temper, and
I don't.
I still have it, but I know, like,
Not anymore.
I used to be able to just control it. Like, at some point, when I get pissed off, some shit has to get broken. And it still happens, but I feel like during school, or like, yeah, like during that, my adolescence, I felt it, but it never came out in front of people. Like, I usually would go home and I'd fucking scream in a pillow or just do some weird shit. I never boxed or I never did any of that shit. But that's actually what led me to sports. Just being like, something shit's got to get hit or something's got to get kicked or some shit.
Yeah, I got that made things a lot better for me. To be totally honest, sports were important. Sports are important, things along those lines. It's just I didn't have a proper outlet. You know?
Where did your fighting start? Was that karate? Would you start with karate?
I started with karate. Yeah.
Did I know you from Tokyo Hill? I went to Tokyo Hill.
No, I went to karate. I did karate as a kid for a minute. Maybe you might have. I don't know. I wasn't really close with anyone when I did karate as a kid, and I just stopped after a while. Then I got back into it at 17, and then.
Did you use it as an outlet?
Yeah. Well, I got it because my brother was doing it there, and then they needed somebody. They got me like a job, just helping. Like we're helping out the classes or whatever, and then I just got addicted. I went from that, and after I won nationals, I kind of got bored with it just because it was the lack of contact.
Oh, don't just go over that like that's some small thing. You won nationals?
Yeah, you knew that.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, 19. When I was 19, between my freshman and sophomore year of college, I won nationals in point karate.
Wait, why I didn't know that.
No, you knew that.
No, that's not some shit you forget.
No, you forgot that. No, you definitely knew that. I totally told you that.
I'm gonna quit weed. That's fucked up that I forgot that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and just like the lack of contact kind of just got boring. I'm like, all right, thanks.
That's
brother.
amazing. Shout out to big up to James for getting fucking.
Yeah, I was like, I'd already started jiu-jitsu at that point. I wanted to do Muay Thai because I always wanted to do Muay Thai, and then eventually got into that. And then just focused on being a striker for a long time. And then I just got kind of back into jiu-jitsu recently, over the last few years just because I wanted to even out my game. Now my game is a little more even. And I'm like, I'm still kind of enjoying this jiu-jitsu thing just because of the... It allows a lot more outlets. It's just there are a lot more things you can do within that scape because there's just so many positions and so many submissions, so many sweeps, so many ideas, so many micro movements and ideas.
Which you can point out, which is fucking amazing. Yeah. Just quick sidebar. When we're at Atlantic City and you're like, turn around. I can't even name anything off the top of my head, but you're like,
you got the rush and you got to go to the side.
Like, what the fuck? How can you tell? But how I can dissect the football play, you can dissect fighting.
Exactly.
And it's like the most amazing. See, my wife thinks that's impressive, but all women think sports shit is impressive. I'm probably not even that
Your
smart,
wife also loves you a lot.
That's true, because I'm the GOAT. I don't blame her. But, no, seriously, but when you dissect a fucking, whatever we're watching, mixed martial arts, whatever it is, kickboxing, whatever, I think that's some impressive shit. So, but go ahead, as you were saying.
Yeah, like, I don't even remember what I was talking about anymore. So the jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So there's just so many different planes. There's so many different planes you can play with, and I enjoy that. Now with Thai boxing, I like that because I was naturally very good at it. Just because I kick really hard. I hit hard enough to get away with it. I get away with shitty technique from time to time. Now with jiu-jitsu, it took a little more effort because you have to ignore your athleticism in order to become more talented. Now, injuring my shoulder was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, if I'm being totally honest, because it forced me. Yeah, I mean, it forced me to...
your left shoulder or your right shoulder?
Left.
Okay.
I fucked my shoulder up so many times, but the one that I got surgery on, it forced me to readjust my entire game, you know?
I always wanted to fight. I used to tell you that I wanted to have like 3 professional fights or amateur fights. But I am just not into getting punched in the face, bro. I got to tell you. Like, that one time for being kicked in the head or something, like, I don't know. Like, I don't. It's not. I could have it. Everyone thinks they could take it, but taking it is one thing. But I'm just like,
everyone says they want to fight. They don't want to fight. They want to
beat something up. Right.
Right. Fighting is different. Fighting is you have to acknowledge the fact that you will be taking a beating. There's somebody in there who's been training just as hard as you have, pretty much every day for 6 to 8 weeks, and they're cutting weight and they're pissed off. You're gonna get hit. It's a dominant to be a dominant fighter. You can't just go in there hoping to be a dominant fighter. You have to be ready for a fucking war.
Yeah. So do you think like see, I don't want to go back into boxing, but I just wanted to bring up the point that like Floyd, he's obviously worked at his craft for a long time.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. And he's probably one of the hardest working people in sports, period.
Yeah.
Arguably, obviously.
But
he obviously has a natural gift for fucking, I'll just say defense for lack of a better term. No,
he is naturally athletic. You can't get that far in the sport without being somewhat athletic.
But I think he just has like a gift. I feel like his defense is just different. But I'm like an amateur viewer, so to speak, and you're more technical.
He's got a very good eye, and he understands. I think it's not even. He's got a good eye. He's able to see how the body moves better than anyone, and figure out the angles through there. So he'll stay there, let you throw punches because he knows he can see. Oh, if he's turning, his shoulder's in, he's coming that way. Oh, he's looking this. Oh no, he's doing this. He's doing that. So he just understands body mechanics very well. So I think that's why he moves so well. And he also even if you're late on it and you get hit, he moves away from it, so those punches don't really hurt that much. You know what I mean?
Do you think the days of like the butter beans are over?
Dude, you always have 4-round fights with guys who just fucking go in there. Those are fun.
True. I'm not into boxing like I was probably. Like I'm like 3 years removed from it, pretty much.
I still watch it from time to time. I actually think it's become more interesting without Floyd in the picture. You know.
What about UFC? You still in UFC?
No, I watch UFC significantly more than I watch boxing.
I mean, I think the world.
Just lately, there haven't been many good cards. After the Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, that was the last big card, and then now there's been smaller cards, but there've been good fight, and there've been great fights in them. You know, like I got friends of mine who have been doing. Where like Aljamain Sterling beat the shit out of Renan Barão, which is a really good fight. Renan Barão is a former champion, and like things. And then I'll watch those, and then I'll watch but. I think the problem I'm having with the UFC is with the new management because they're trying to make their money back. They're not having the best fighter versus the best fighter. They're just having the most marketable fighter versus the most marketable fighter.
The world is having the most marketable fighter versus the most marketable fighter. That was a drunk fact, but you know what I mean. I couldn't even get it out. But I think that's not even just UFC. Not just I guess to move on with it. The world, I feel like a lot of shit is just like, hey, this is a cash grab, all right? We're coming out with it. Like even UFC or boxing or whatever it is in sports, and the fucking, remember that Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil? Like,
how about that?
She is like a record deal now, and I'm like, Atlantic picked her up. Like not just a bullshit record deal. She got a real record deal. And I'm like, how do you go and give this 14-year-old kid now? She was 13 when all this shit started.
She's fucked for life.
But I'm just saying, like a lot of shit is just like a cash grab, and
you know exactly how, and you just said that's how you do it.
So yeah, so it's not just fucking fighting. I don't know where we are in society, but sports used to be the only thing to save us. I guess that can't even save us.
Well, sports have kind of been the new it's another opiate of the masses. Much like as Mark said, religion was. Sports gives you a new thing to kind of like dull your senses. And you know what? Like I think Doug Stanhope put it best. He's a comedian. He said like, you know what? I know football's stupid, but it's my stupid. All right, let me have my stupid.
Right. But that's enough for today, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just gonna say,
I want to thank you, James, for coming through to the podcast.
This is a lot of fun.
Are you gonna start a Twitter? Like, can this be the introduction to your Twitter? God damn it, let's do it. I don't know.
I gotta be maybe. Maybe.
We'll let you know. I'll let you know where to reach James. I'll post it on my Facebook post at King Bo Christ on Facebook and Twitter. Do you want to give out your Facebook? Are you still active on it?
No, I'm not active right now. I'm on a social media break. I think Twitter might be the right move. And
we'll revisit. Maybe Instagram or some shit.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
We'll start small. But anywho, thanks for tuning in. As I always say, fuck what your horoscope says, just because. Listeners, whatever you're listening on, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go rate this. So if you're in the iTunes store, go ahead. If you feel like I deserve 1 star, go for it. But if you enjoyed what you heard, go ahead and give that 5 stars. And if you're on anything else, like this and share it with somebody who you think needs to hear it.